Welcome to Science Store online classes.
Don't forget to like our video and subscribe our YouTube channel for all the updates.
Hello dear students and welcome to CET JEE classes of relations and functions. We are in the question number 4. If S is defined on R by x comma y belongs to S, if and only if xy is greater than or equal to 0, then S is. First option is equivalence relation, reflexive only, symmetric only, transitive only. So this is based on reflexive, symmetric and transitive. If all the three happen, then it is equivalence, otherwise one of these. Well, now let us analyze the first thing, that is reflexive. So let's see, is it reflexive? See, if it is reflexive, then x comma x must belong to the relation. Here the relation is yes. See, when it will belong, if x into x, because if x comma y belongs to the relation, then xy is greater than or equal to 0. If x comma x has to belong to the relation yes, then x into x must be greater than or equal to 0. That means x square must be greater than or equal to 0. For any value of x, you take positives, you take negatives. It is defined on the real numbers. You take any real number, you take minus 1. So minus 1 comma minus 1, will it belong to the relation? Yes, because minus 1 into minus 1, that is minus 1 whole square, which is 1. So that is greater than or equal to 0, positive itself. You put 0 comma 0, 0 into 0, 0. So it is equal to 0, satisfies. You take negatives, you positives or zeros, you take decimals, 0.1, 0.1 square is positive, minus 0.5 positive, because it is square, square is always positive. What's the job of square? Job of square is making it positive. Okay, square makes it positive, modulus makes it positive. Well, now what about symmetric? Is it symmetric? Look at this. You have x comma, if you have x comma y belongs to the relation yes, then what does that imply? Xy is greater than or equal to 0. Now if xy is greater than or equal to 0, what about yx? Xy and yx are same, they are not different. You are just changing their position. When you have multiplication, you can write in any order, a into b, b into a, same, doesn't matter. So that is also positive. Obviously y comma x also belongs to s. And what about transitive? See, this is symmetric, because if x comma y is there, then y comma x also will be there. Now let's discuss about transitivity. Okay, so this is reflexive and symmetric, so this option is not correct. Symmetric only, reflexive only, but it is also symmetric. Symmetric only, this option is also not correct, because it is also reflexive. So let's talk about transitive only. So transitive only, if it happens, okay, if it is transitive, then that is not transitive only. We have already saw that it reflexive happens, symmetric happens. So this also cannot be the option. This is the option, it is equivalence. But in case you want to check transitivity, let's do it. So what do you mean by transitive? See, transitive means if x comma y belongs to the relation and y comma z belongs to the relation, yes, then see, xy is positive or equal to 0 and yz is also positive. Now if you multiply these, xy into yz will be positive or not, because you are multiplying two positive things. If you are multiplying two positive things, resultant also will be positive. That means x into y square into z is positive. Y square is already positive, that means x and z are also positive. This is already positive, so you can divide by that. Okay, when you divide the inequalities, you must divide with the positive. You cannot divide with the negatives, then inequality will reverse. Okay, so this is already positive, therefore you can divide by y square. What you get is xz is positive. That means x comma z also belongs to S. So that tells us that it is an equivalence relation. So with just reflexive and symmetric, you can decide that it is equivalence, but in case you wanted to check, there you go. Well, now let's move on to the fifth question, and that appeared in JEE Mains 2018, but it's a very simple thing. There's no big deal. Okay, so when you look at the options, they look very complicated, but it's very simple. You have only 3 elements in the set, so it is so easy to solve. So let's do it. See, what is given C comma A, the first relation. There are 2 relations and all the options are based on those 2 relations. See, is it reflexive? R1, is it reflexive? R1. When it will be reflexive? If you have A comma A, B comma B and C comma C, you have A comma A, B comma B and C comma C, reflexive. And what about symmetric? Is it symmetric? Is it symmetric? See, you have C comma A comma C, you have, then B comma C is there, but C comma B is not there. B comma C is not there. It is not symmetric, it is reflexive, not symmetric. And is it transitive? You have C comma A comma C, then C comma C, yes, B comma C, then C comma A. Do you have B comma A? B comma A don't have, you check. See, you have B comma C and C comma A. Do you have B comma C? Yes. And do you have C comma A? Yes. Now what is the resultant? Resultant B comma A must be there, but B comma A is not there in R1, therefore it is not transitive. Okay, so let's go to R2. Let's go to R2 and check what happens there, and that will tell us the right choice. Okay, so R2, is it reflexive? Is it reflexive? You have A comma A and B comma B and C comma C. Yes, it is reflexive. And is it symmetric? Symmetric, you have B comma A, but you don't have, yeah, you have A comma B, symmetric. C comma A, yes, you have A comma C, so it is symmetric also. And is it transitive? See, to become transitive, you have to check for all the possible pairs. You have AB and BA, then AA, it's there. Then you have BA and starting with A you have AC, then you should have BC. Do you have BC? No, you don't have, understand? You have BA and you have AC, correct? That is also there. Now what is the resultant? BC. Do you have? No, you don't have in R2, therefore it is not transitive. It is not transitive. Now go through the options. R1 is not symmetric. Yes, but it is transitive. No, it is not transitive. Therefore, that cannot be the answer. Both R1 and R2 are transitive. Both are not transitive. That is also not the option. R2 is symmetric but not transitive. R2 is symmetric but not transitive. There you go. So option C is the answer. Both R1 and R2 are not symmetric. Both R1 and R2 are not symmetric. No, this is symmetric. Therefore, option C is the right answer. So you have got 2 relations, and take some time to understand the 3 type of relations there: reflexive, symmetric and transitive. Once you're sure about this, you can go through the options and check. Well, so that is JEE Mains 2018. See, it's not difficult. So JEE questions are simple questions, not all the questions, but most of them are reachable. You can reach, you can solve. Okay, so it's not out of your reach. Well, so that's it for today's class. Thank you very much for watching.